This is history.
History. Made up as we go along.
In a world where Rome is the big dog, one man will march his army to a river and decide whether or not to do a cannonball so big the whole First Republic would get wet.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, welcome to History Improv, where a history expert surprises us improvisers with a historical event that we then act out on the spot. I'm Trent Edwards, here with my co-host, Steve Fait. Well, Steve, we made it to episode 3.
Yeah, we did. And this one is epic. I felt like we needed to start it with a kind of dramatic, over-the-top, epic feel, because this episode is kind of big.
It's super big. You inspired me with your epic voice. So, Steve, both our episode guests are your amigos, so please tell us a bit about them.
Yeah, our improviser for this episode is Lee Uniacke. Lee is a Bay Area improviser who I've played with many times and is a history geek, just like you and me.
Excellent.
And our history expert is a really good friend of mine, Matt Roberto. Matt teaches ethnic studies and history in San Francisco, and he brought us our epic topic for this episode.
Yeah, I can't wait to share this episode. So without further ado, please enjoy.
It's totally awesome!
We are excited to have a great improviser, one of my favorites to work with, Lee Uniacke. Lee, welcome to History Improv'ed.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks, Trent.
Welcome, welcome.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here with us. Hopefully we're going to have lots of fun.
Yep.
We will definitely have lots of fun.
I have my doubts. No, I'm joking.
Oh,
Wait, are they centered around me, Trent? I'm very concerned.
I'm sabotaging your intro.
Trent's a co-host.
Yeah, that's right.
Lee, I have an important question for you.
Sure.
Are you ready to make history?
I am ready to make new history.
Oh, new history.
Nice.
Savvy. All right. So to do that, we need a topic. We need an event. Trent, you want to check the Wayback 3000 and see what it has for us?
Will do. Caesar crosses the Rubicon, 49 BC, and the characters are Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great.
So we got Caesar and Pompey. Okay.
Is it Pompey? Or I might have mispronounced that.
I guess I'm tipping my hand here and probably setting myself up to actually lead this dance. But I've only heard it Pompey.
Okay, it must be that. I'm not familiar. So
Pompey.
And it could be to distinguish from Pompey.
Yeah.
Lee, do you know this event?
I do. I'm familiar with it. I wasn't there. I remember, the news at the time. Sure.
I mean, is this something that you would want to steer?
I would defer to you and your steerage.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Okay. I guess the only other thing we have to check on then before we get going is Audrey, if she's standing by on sound effects.
she is.
Got it. All right, here we go. We open outside an army tent on a cliff overlooking the ocean. Mark Antony, this is stunning. I mean, the Mediterranean is absolutely stunning.
Caesar, this is a fine morning, and it's a fine morning to be here standing by your side. We've vanquished virtually every foe we've come across.
Well, we're Rome, right? I mean, I think we got a good track record going here. I just love the south of France. It's or Gaul or whatever it's called now.
It really galls me.
Yeah, I get ahead of myself. France is just kind of something I imagine that just sounds good. Better than Gaul. Gaul sounds so, I don't know, Celtic. Ugh.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Disgusting. Julius Caesar, I am your squire, for lack of a better term.
Be a little bit more assertive, Squire, because that's how I got where I am. You know, mighty general.
General, you are a legend already. It's okay if I call you Julius? No, General, right?
No, I will slit your throat if you call him
yes.
Julius.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Thank you. Caesar, I must speak to you. I'm hearing reports of Rome. They're not good.
What do you hear, Mark?
The Senate is letting things slip. People are not paying their taxes. There's violence and crime on the street. There's riffraff running roughshod over all of Rome, and it's not the way we left it.
Riffraff
running Rome, but our tax coffers, they're empty, and we must fill them, and we need a strong hand, a strong leader.
Is this because of Pompey? Is this the
yes?
Like all of the money is going to him because
yes, Pompey, or as we call him, Pompous.
Yeah. Squire, you didn't hear that.
Stop laughing.
No, sorry.
Do not laugh at your betters.
I was laughing at something else. Sorry.
Pompey on a bad day is well above your station.
Everything is above my station. I know it. You know it.
Keep peeling grapes.
Yes.
I might be hungry later.
Yes, sir.
Sir, some of the other generals, the lower generals, are saying that we should march on Rome and restore order.
March on Rome.
There's even talk of making you emperor.
Wow.
For its own good.
March on Rome. Huh. Well, boy, I no one's ever gone back and attacked Rome. Well, there was Sulla, but...
Well, I think it's liberating Rome more than actually attacking. That's the way that me and, the boys talk about it. We'd just be there to help with our legion.
That sounds like better PR there. I can get behind that. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to figure out how to get there. It's not the easiest route.
General, sir, I'm back with your grapes as you ordered exactly. Just so, in case you're wondering, I'm your server, Roberto. If you wanted to leave a good comment with my boss, Enrico, that would be wonderful. Just whenever you're ready, enjoy your time, enjoy your meal.
Well, your food is your food is very good.
Thank you.
Tell you what, Roberto, I could really go for a nice savory cannoli. Where we're going to be sending you, you might be gone for a while. Try to get back post haste, of course. But I don't know, Mark. What do you think?
Oh yes, I would also like a cannoli from Mama Cacciatore's cannoli house in Rome. Do you know it?
I do know it. Yes, such a fine establishment.
Yeah. Could you send some quick runners there? It'll take several weeks, but if you sent quick runners there, how would you send them?
Skill testing questions are the hardest. I'm not good under pressure. I would send them with chariots. Actually, do you have any spare chariots that you could just... Because our runners they're kind of tired.
Yes, I mean, for the cannolis, we could spare a chariot.
Right, a chariot.
But my question is more specific.
Mm-hmm.
On a map, how would you send them?
Oh, I would send them straight across the Rubicon. That's the way that I would send them.
I see.
That's what I hear anyway. That's what's word on the street, north side.
Yeah. But you're aware that if the legions went over the Rubicon, that would be in direct violation of Roman law.
Sir, you'd be surprised by how little that I'm aware of.
Caesar.
Yes.
I've got a thought. Why don't we send Roberto with not a legion or anything, but let's say a division of men, and see if they get into trouble crossing the Rubicon.
Oh, like a test run. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Roberto could lead our men. That way we're like, hey, he's a slave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Surprise. Right. I like that. Okay. All right, we got Roberto. We have a favor to ask. We cut to the Rubicon and Pompey's military tent.
Pay tribute to the great Pompey. I am here to smite all of the Roman Empire.
Really?
And you, lucky people, are here to witness it.
Oh, so you're just inviting us villagers to kind of watch, huh?
Well, if you could participate in some helpful way, that also would be appreciated. I mean, by the lower downs. I am the ruler of the people, but yes, I think any kind of help would be great.
Just to be clear, Pompey,
Pompey! It's Pompey!
we've got all our pitchforks, but what are you expecting to go on here exactly?
I'm expecting to destroy any Romans that try to cross the Rubicon.
Okay.
So again, I'm just kind of, just to be clear, like if I have my torch,
And my pitchfork.
yeah, and Stan's pitchfork, do we just kind of like just kind of jab at them? Because I've heard that Roman soldiers are kind of, I don't know, kick ass.
Kick ass?
We saw a show and they're kind of pretty good with those swords, and this pitchfork is just wood.
Just wood. Is it sharp?
Well, it's very pointy, sure, but
Yeah, but
I mean,
yeah, we don't have access to metals around here, so I'm just, like we just kind of carve everything.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay. So you're scared, is what you're saying.
That about sums it up.
You don't think that Pompey can lead you through to victory? That's what I'm hearing here.
Well, I can't speak for Stan, but I don't know what your track record is. I didn't even know until just a little bit ago how to pronounce your name.
I've really got to work on my PR company. Like, they are just ridiculous. Do you think that I became Pompey the Great by worrying about the enemy's fancy swords when I have my own brute strength and my men, the strength of my men, and the fear that we can instill in those Romans? They're little pipsqueaks. Come on. We can take them.
I'm going to have to throw down that Caesar's conquered all of Gaul, and he seems pretty good at it.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
They weren't committed like us, though. They weren't committed. I think it was about commitment.
Well, they put the leader of Gaul in a big cage, and that looked pretty committed to me.
Wait, they put him in a cage? What did they do to him?
No, they put him in. He was naked in a cage, and it was
Naked?
I gotta say, it was pretty horrifying. I didn't go anywhere near him.
Yeah, it really sent a message.
Oh, this sounds bad. Okay, well, I think we need to redouble our efforts.
So, what do you want us to do for doubling how? Doubling what?
Well, I was thinking that maybe we could use any family that can hold a pitchfork. We can do some... Do we have anything that throws, fiery objects? That would be good. We wouldn't have to fight them by sword and pitchfork if we could throw stuff at them, like from a distance.
Well, my son, Barbius, can throw manure very far with a good, big shovel.
I guess that's something.
He can throw it 3 stalls, easy. He doesn't have to, move it twice. It's quite a sight.
Hey, Dad.
Quite a sight.
Dad.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a. It looks like a just kind of a group. Just I mean, they're really, well, they're Roman. They don't look too threatening. The guy up in front looks like a kind of like a restaurateur or something. But
Restaurateur?
I don't know what they want. We just kind of keeping our distance for now. But he's coming along.
If I may inquire,
you want me to go back and kind of talk to this guy? And
yes, go back. And it's a restaurateur. Just go back and capture him, bring him back to me, and he will spill all his secrets.
Cut to the edge of the woods. So you say your name is Roberto, huh?
Roberto, yes.
So, I apologize for the stink. I throw manure all day. So what do you what do you want?
Yes, I have many ingredients I am supposed to get. I have to cross this Rubicon to get to the ingredients, and then I have many helpers. My general was very helpful. He sent a whole bunch of people to help me. I normally do this alone, but I'm very. I must be coming up in the world. I'm very, very happy with this.
Arbius, Pompey wants to see this guy.
I don't know anything about diplomacy, so I just probably should just kind of, I don't know, let him pass, I guess.
I would think so. You're just going to get cannolis, is that right?
Yes, it would be delicious. Maybe, hey, I could give you guys a 10% discount if you come to the restaurant when you come back. If you come back across the river and follow us, it is quite a way. It's true, but at 10%, it's very good cannoli.
Oh.
I'd have to bathe. And I don't know. I don't want to die.
Yeah, we have lots of olive oil. You don't need to pre-bathe. You just come and we just pour some olive oil, rub it all over your muscles. You smell delicious.
Okay.
But I go now? I cross now? It's okay?
Yeah, I guess go ahead and...
Yeah.
And...
It's not on us.
All right. Buongiorno. Ciao.
We cut to Caesar's battle wagon. So Mark, have you heard from this Roberto guy? I mean, it's been weeks, and I'm still jonesing for that cannoli.
My people say he's been in Rome, but he's staying there, and our legion is working for him now.
Wow. Oh, okay. So this was not something that I was anticipating.
The word is he's franchising. He's franchised all over Rome, and our centurion is his franchise manager.
Mm.
It's really gone off the rails here,
Ugh.
Caesar.
Oh.
Our plan is not good.
That's it. We got one option. We're just going to go in ourselves.
I think that's a good option. I would like to point out in the franchising scheme, they actually own the real estate, which is a huge innovation. They're making a lot of money.
Rather than have the original owners.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Counterintuitive, but quite profitable.
All right. Well, this is going to mess with our plans, but I don't know any other option.
I would say, Caesar, that I think we will be hailed as liberators, and people, as long as they're enjoying the cannolis, people will throw roses and garlands at our feet.
So you're thinking once we pass under the golden arches that billions and billions will be served with glory and triumph.
Yes, Caesar, that is what I believe. I believe the Senate will dissolve and turn over all franchises to you.
To the Rubicon.
To the Rubicon.
We cut to the Rubicon and Pompey's tent.
Oh, pretty tired, but I'm going to power through it. Don't worry. I've eaten a lot of protein. You guys ready to mess up some Romans? Because I hear them. They're coming.
Yeah, I'm good, Mr. the Great. I got 2 torches now. I don't know if they gave you an update, but I have 2 torches now. So, I've been working on my double fisting.
Double fisting.
And I have my pitchfork, and I have a stick also. So I'm going to be right behind you.
Excuse me, Pompey. I don't know if you've cast a glance westward. There are some guys up there.
Oh, really? Oh, what? Oh. Wow. Look at that.
And that's a Roman legion up there.
That's a lot of guys. This is it's not a good Monday.
Mondays, am I right?
You got it. Mondays. Oh, jeez. This is not looking good. Okay, I think the important thing is to rally around Pompey. You got some excellent sticks and pitchforks, some nice torches.
Thanks.
Just go and really have some fun with it. Just get out there and, bash and impale and burn and keep it up and just make it a real workout. You'll come back with some bigger pipes, just like Pompey. And the stories. Oh. All right. So, hey, they're still coming. I think I've done a lot of good inspiring. You guys want to just head up there and, have at her.
Uh-huh.
I'll be right behind you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'm just thinking outside the box here, Pompey. If you have, experience with this, why don't you go ahead and show us, and then it'll be kind of a learn, training, exercise kind of thing where we were,
Yeah, like let's learn from the best, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm no efficiency expert, but if we are better at it, we will probably kill 2 or 3 times the number of men than we would with less training.
Or at least 2 or 3 people.
Flattery doesn't go far with me, but you are right. I am pretty great when it comes to the bashing. Hell, let's just live a little. I'm going for it. Let's go for it.
Okay.
Ah!
We cut to Caesar's battle wagon. Mark, is that is that Pompey out in front?
It looks like a bunch of villagers. What? Look at that guy with 2 torches in his hand. What does he think he's going to do? Set our men on fire? They're not flammable.
And a wooden pitchfork. This is like when I conquered Gaul. This is just like...
This is not the victory I was envisioning. We can't just go in there and slaughter villagers.
No.
When they do the announcements, that everyone stands around and listens to, that's not going to play well.
Here comes Pompey. Hey, let him through. No. Just don't do anything. Just let him through.
Yeah. Hey.
What are you doing?
Just showing the way. Just have a couple of recruits that just needed to show how to do the bashing. And I'm an expert basher. I'm the great. I'm Pompey, the great.
The reports from the front are you've wounded 1 soldier's foot.
Yeah, I did. I didn't want to embarrass too many people, so I just showed them a little lesson. Like, hey, how's it feel with 2 broken toes?
Are you aware we have 10,000 men?
I did notice there was a lot,
each with 2 feet.
Yeah, but you bash one of them, and then the other ones see the broken toes, and they say, "I don't want broken toes," and it turns into a stampede. I'm pretty confident.
Pompey, look. I think this triumvirate that we got here right now knows where Rome is at.
Yep.
We know these franchises are getting out of control, the riffraff and all that. I'll tell you, I just want to go in to Rome
for the franchising opportunities. I mean, I could understand that.
There are benefits of being there. I don't know what form the leadership would take, but yet.
Right. But a triumvirate sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Me too. I also know what triumvirate means. Yes.
Pompey, would you be interested in being part of our triumvirate?
I would love it.
We could set you up in a nice villa, a Magnum villa.
Among them villa?
A Magna.
Oh.
Yeah, you know that term, right? You seem to be well versed, Pompey.
Yeah, I've got a big vocabulary. I'm pretty up there, the bashing and also the brain.
Then we've got a triumvirate here where we could run the empire.
We're thinking of kind of creating one here.
Yeah. Well, Gaul, we've got Gaul, and then and we'll get Britannia next year. Empire. Then it's an empire. No question about
What do you think, Pompey? Cross the Rubicon, head to Rome.
Okay, but I want like 50-50 split with this triumvirate.
it. Where is your math slave? Did you bring your math slave?
Oh, crap.
We cut to the Rome side of the Rubicon. All right. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of towel off. I gotta admit it. I don't like to walk after being soaked. I just kind of like to dry off a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Sure. Well, the chafing.
Right.
The chafing.
Oh, the chafing.
Ouch.
Right. Do you happen to know if they have one of those franchise locations, on the way, like on this side of the walls, or do we have to go into the city? Because really, I know there's going to be some resistance and stuff, and man, I'm just hungry right now.
I could mess up a plate of peeled grapes. Let me tell you.
I could eat. I could always eat. I mean, you know me, Caesar.
Yes, I do,
Yes,
Mark.
good fellow eater.
Look over yonder. There's a franchise.
Oh, boy, they're just popping up everywhere.
Look at this. Cannolis are us. And look, it's right here in the crossroads, like right across from hanging criminals. Look, crucified criminals right there. I mean, you're, a major intersection.
Right.
You think they have any gluten-free cannolis? I get bloated.
We're a little bit out in the boonies. I mean, in Rome, sure, of course.
Right. More liberal. Yeah.
Yeah. Pompey, let's go in and see, right? Caesar, look, this one's on me. Hopefully it'll be a centurion we know, and maybe we can get a deal,
Right. Oh, welcome to Cannoli's R Us. Can I take your order, please?
Yeah. Give me, what flavor of cannoli do you recommend?
Well, we have savory and we also have just sweet.
Oh, give me a savory and a sweet. That way I get dessert.
Would you like a combo meal?
So it comes with?
It comes with a side of Irish potatoes.
Well, yeah, look at the price of that. That's give me one of those. And then set my friends up too. This is on me.
Sir.
You got any of that gluten-free cannoli?
Hey, Martin, do we have that gluten-free?
What do you want? You want the gluten-free? Oh, come on. What do you think this is? This is a fine establishment, but hey, we're not in the downtown Rome here. This is, we work with what we got. Come on. Be reasonable.
Sorry, sir, we don't have any. I think that's just in our main franchises in Rome.
All right. Just give me, do you have any vino? I like some of that red vino.
Would you like that in a jumbo size?
Of course. Look at me.
He's jumbo if I know jumbo. And I do know jumbo.
And I will take I'm not a really big sweets fan, so I will take the just the savory cannoli Happy Meal, because this is a good day. This is a good day, and I am happy. Do you know what the toy is? A dagger. All right.
Wait. You can get a dagger with this Happy Meal?
Does the dagger come with the combo?
That's right. It comes with the Happy Meal. You have to pay for the Happy Meal or order the Happy Meal specifically.
Well, it's not on the menu. It doesn't say that. I would have got a Happy Meal. Come on.
So would you like to change your order? I'll need a new clay tablet.
No, just leave it. Next time I'm going to get the Happy Meal, obviously.
Okay, we have several franchises to choose from, sir. Perhaps you could get some tomorrow.
Thank you.
We cut to the gates of Rome. Wow. I've been away for a while.
Yeah. Look at the Colosseum. I swear it's up one other story.
And it's called Cannoli's Are Us Coliseum?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
They paid a lot of money for the naming rights.
All right, well. Oh, there's that riffraff.
I got 2 grapes for you right here,
Go.
Caesar.
It's Caesar. Go to hell, Caesar.
Caesar.
Caesar. Caesar right now.
How do they know my title already? Did one of you guys blab?
I'm not so good with the secrets. I got loose lips.
I did some advanced PR, sir, just, to kind of pave the way. Seize these nuts. Seize these nuts. Riffraff, sir. We have to bring these people down and make them bow to you, worship you as a god.
I wasn't that way before, but man, if it's no longer a republic.
Yeah, in Mesopotamia, their king was always a god. Always. I'm just saying. Something I heard.
I like this idea. I like where you're going with it.
It worked for the Egyptians.
Oh, yeah, I've been hearing about them.
Me too.
Yes.
Yes. Cleopatra? Wowza.
Oh, yeah.
What about her?
Oh,
Holy smoky.
smoky. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. And not for nothing, but talk about, sir, grain. A lot of grain there, sir. Lot of grain. And you know what grain means? Grain means bread. You know what we do with the bread? We give it to the people. They eat the bread. We give them a good time in the Colosseum. We're on Easy Street, and we collect taxes.
Are we still going to have enough grain left over for the cannolis?
Oh, yeah. That's built in. That is built in. Hey, this has been a really good triumvirate so far. But hey, Pompey, what's that over there?
What? I don't know what.
At the window.
Oh, I don't know. Let's go.
There he goes. Caesar.
Yeah, thank you.
Just you and me, babe.
Yeah, thanks for getting that out of the way. It seems like starting off on a bad foot, like.
Yeah, triumvirate. That sounds unstable just from the get-go.
Right. Bad idea. Well, BFF, buddy.
Sweet.
The end.
Yay. So poor Pompey. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think every Roman general needs to meet a untimely demise in some form or another.
Yes, absolutely.
Ignominious.
I guess we'll find out if we got that part right at least.
I'm sure I know the answer, but I don't want to steal the thunder from the history expert, so I'll just leave that to the history expert.
Special. Yeah. That sounds good.
I'm a giver.
Well, thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun.
And we'll be back with Matt Roberto after this break. We're really happy to have our historical expert for this event, Matt Roberto. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
I'm not sure if you know this, but we are not the experts that you might have expected from this improv set we've just performed. We may have some questions that you'll be like, hey, I thought they knew that. But no. No. We're going to plow through and we're going to learn just along with some of our listeners who will also probably be thinking, hey, yeah, even I knew that one, Trent. But we're going to do it. So why is this event so famous from a perspective of people may not know the event itself, but they know the saying, crossing the Rubicon?
Yeah, this one is, like I said, to me, it's the Super Bowl of history events. And I thought about this event. The crossing the Rubicon is huge. It's huge because there's so much context that built up to it. And if people know that context, it's incredible. It's the moment of no return for the Roman Empire. And it is the moment in which, the classic Western trope of you cross that line, you can't go back.
Mm-hmm. Can you set the stage for us? Like, what was the build up to this? What made it this moment, this pivotal moment for the Roman Empire?
Make a long story short, because it is super long. The Republic is moving along, and they're getting stronger, and they're definitely the big dog in the Mediterranean. The poverty in Rome is huge. Rome has a lot of poverty, and then all of a sudden comes two major figures, Marius and Sulla. Sulla will end up really becoming the first dictator of Rome. He got rid of all his political opponents because that was his idea of cleaning up Rome. And it literally killed them and displayed their bodies and heads and all over. And it's like, wow, he wasn't messing around. But what's so fascinating about him is he's like, okay, now I'm going to go leave with friends and people of the circus. And he lives this life of retirement. And then this guy leaves the Senate. It's like, but he thinks you can put the toothpaste back into the tube. Sulla did. And he couldn't. And what happened is there's really three guys that are watching. There's Marcus Crassus, Pompey, and a young guy named Julius Caesar. And over the next several years, they're going to rise to power. And what's going to happen out of this is they're going to start privatizing the militaries. And when they do that, these guys have control of militaries, but they also control big businesses too. And slavery is one of them. And Crassus is big in that. And Julius Caesar becomes very big in that. And then the three guys in the Senate of 300 start to accumulate power, and they create the first triumvirate.
So this is the 300. That's those guys from Sparta, right?
That's a whole nother saga. Yeah, no, a whole other
You're
saga.
confusing a lot of our listeners, though. They're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that when he kicks the guy into the well." Okay, I'm with you.
You've got other guys that are emerging, like Cicero, saying, these guys are getting real big. All three are very ambitious, and there's a lot of politicking going back and forth. I mean, all the stuff of great drama. Crassus has a disaster. He ends up getting destroyed in a big battle. And it pretty much puts Pompey and Caesar as the primary guys. Caesar is like, they were the new Nuevo Romans. They were kind of the bohemian young crowd coming up.
Okay.
Pompey wasn't, but it's interesting because Pompey was married to his daughter, Caesar's daughter. So there's that connection too, which makes the drama build even more.
Yeah.
And Caesar will be sent to Gaul. And Gaul was northern Italy all the way up into France and northern Spain, and his exploits in Gaul and what he does. I mean, it's both brutal and it's this stuff of legend. And I think that's the part that captivates people of generations, because there is no TV. You're reading this stuff and your imagination is carrying you on this journey he has in Gaul. But he's also doing a lot of stuff that's illegal according to the Republican laws. But it's really, at the time, Pompey looks to be the guy. He kind of gets more of from the rich and powerful. He really hooks them up. He takes out all these pirates. He conquers a lot of the Mediterranean because you have the fall of these very powerful kingdoms. He controls a lot of the trade in the Mediterranean, him, his family, and his sons, and people connected to him in the Republic. But Caesar's growing power in Gaul. And at this time, the Republic is going to make the move. 300 of them are going to make the move and call for Caesar to surrender his army, come back to Rome to face trial for criminal charges and treason charges against the Roman Republic.
Now, is the treason from creating wars in Gaul?
He's breaking a lot of laws dealing with not just war, but I think trade, and having the power to just declare war. And the thing is that he's building his army. They own their armies. They pay them. He knew he had power. He had a lot of leverage. And the thing that he has that I believe that Caesar knew very well is he had this undying loyalty, and he was willing to gamble on that. And undying loyalty from his men, because they had been so battle tested. And they had seen him do the impossible time after time again. And again, I'm talking to this in a romantic type of way, because we look on things now with a different lens, like the Gauls and the massacre and genocide, even Caesar's involvement in slavery and enslaving people. But he also had these progressive visions of what he thought things could be, expanding things for the Roman Republic, expanding membership, in areas they conquer, people having representation in this republic. And the republic has already gone through almost what would seem like civil wars over this, of having who's going to represent in that 300 powerful senators. And he's got these ideas, and those ideas and his popularity is scaring the Roman Republic. Pompey sides with the old guard and is established in the Mediterranean, where Caesar's in this mysterious place called Gaul, and he's conquered it. And he's his own governor. He's got his own kingdom. But what makes him so fascinating to the average Roman is not just these ideas, but these stories that are coming back, because every story that's coming back is he's winning these victories and he's always an underdog. And so there's that thing that really romanticizes him. And so they want him to come in and they want him to stand trial. And it's at that point that Caesar takes his army and they march to that river, to the Rubicon in northern Italy, which at the time is Gaul. And he says, once I cross this, there's no turning back. The die is cast, which means the Roman Republic won't be what it is. He's going to commit the ultimate crime against the Roman Republic. He's going to march an army on Rome. But it had been done before. It had been done with Sulla and it had been done with Marius too. So he had the blueprint. And in his eyes, there's not going to be a Sulla where he goes and retires and polishes everything up and says, oh, look, I put the toothpaste back. He's got plans. And so that's when he crosses the Rubicon.
Caesar's no P.T. Barnum lover. He's not joining the circus or taking away with the circus. So he crosses the Rubicon. And the reaction of the Republic is what?
He's coming to Rome. We got to get ready. And what they end up seeing early on is when Caesar crosses the Rubicon, he starts because he's got this military, and what kids don't understand is they think it's Call of Duty, right? They just go in and start attacking. That's not what militaries do. They need supplies, they need food, they need money, and Caesar has those resources, but he doesn't have them traveling this giant army through Rome. And so he's got to go to different towns. And when he gets there, he's finding no resistance. The people admire him and are just enamored and in awe of him and help him. And the Roman Republic starts to say, wait a second, this is a big problem. So they begin to flee. And Pompey actually begins to try to set up and get out and get to where he's strong, which is in Greece. And where he's going to end up is in eventually a place called Pharsalus. And then Caesar will track him down to Pharsalus. And that's when they'll encounter each other. But by that point, he's just still moving around Italy. And he starts to go after and target the big opponents to him, which are going to be military opponents, guys who can muster up the military. And Pompey is that guy. They battle Pompey, and Caesar's incredible at laying siege to opponents. And he surrounds them, and then they go in and they defeat him, but he escapes. And that's when Pompey will end up in Egypt, and then that's when Cleopatra gets introduced. But that's after I think Pompey's killed. The Egyptian government will kill him. Then eventually he's Caesar's with Cleopatra, and he leaves that relationship, and that's when he fights in several other battles. And of course, the final one is probably his biggest and maybe arguably his greatest victories in Munda against Pompey's sons, where he's outnumbered almost 3-1 and has to go in himself, and he ends up defeating him. And after he defeats him in Spain, he'll take Rome and become the dictator of Rome. This is why every kid's heard the name, but they don't know he's some big conqueror. And then when I started looking at other ones, I'm like, well, I don't understand why this guy's so big. I don't understand. And then I studied, and he's reconquering the entire Roman Empire. It's like, wait a second, he's fighting all these incredibly historically significant generals too, and then of course Gaul, and it's huge. It's huge what he does. He understands that the Republic is something historically that's truly great. It's the best. The best way I could describe the Romans in the simplest of terms is, like all these cultures that we've come to really admire, whether, after the Romans, it's going to be the Muslims are going to just be the 2.5 of the Romans, but they're going to take the best culture aspects of every culture and they're going to make it better. And so like for the Roman Republic and people like Cicero, they just saw the Republic as we have American exceptionalism. It's just like, this is it. There's nothing greater in this ancient world than this. So when Caesar crosses that Rubicon, it is assaulting the greatest thing that human beings had ever created as far as government's concerned. And so, yeah, there's really clash of two major ideologies.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because it's not the usual, assault on the leaders or assault on the government. It's going the other direction. It's breaking the rules, but it's not, assaulting the Capitol. Right?
Yeah. There's
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically.
Oh, yeah. And the reason why I'm smiling is because we're in such a powerful position that we look at this one, and Caesar, if the gods are there and Caesar's there, he's sitting there going, wow, this one's interesting. With Caesar, it's just like, even if I read the books, and my books are not his accounts, which historians have read and dissected and fall in love with. I mean, Napoleon will later fall in love with the fights in Gaul, left and right, reading about them. But the stuff I've read, it's basic in the sense that, he crosses this, and it's like this shaking event historically of these ideologies that are gonna clash. But it's also this end of the Romanticism and this kind of Roman exceptionalism of the Republic, of this idea that there is no one all-powerful person who makes decisions. And that hasn't even come into play yet. It's just like, oh my God, this guy's marching on Rome. And I think, though, at the time too, is that Sulla had done it and Sulla had succeeded. But with Caesar, it's what happens after that makes this one event, because we can look back on it and say, this was it. This was the turning point. It's interesting because the framers of the United States were all Rome files. They all, like Ben Franklin, and they knew this stuff like inside and out as historians, and we're like, no, we're not going to make this mistake. We've learned from Rome, this isn't going to work. And that's when Franklin will utter his famous line. Ben Franklin, reporters are there. Well, they're like, well, what kind of government we have? And Ben Franklin says, it's a republic, if you can keep it. And that has to go back to this, because Ben Franklin didn't want an executive branch. And right now I'm in that wagon with him. But yeah, I think that statement to me that he makes utters back to the crossing of the Rubicon. So yeah.
Finally, Ben Franklin comes up with a good quote.
It's one of my favorites. It's
Yeah.
Silver tongue. So Caesar, he goes from being like underdog general, winning battles, starts to get noticed. Then he gets to the point where he crosses the Rubicon after he's run afoul of the most powerful people in Rome.
And 5 years later, he's emperor in 44.
He walks back into the city as, are they thinking of him at this point as, yay, benevolent dictator? Or are they thinking, oh, now it's like, at what point do they sour on Caesar?
The Romans it's more of the Senate that's souring on him when they see his policies, like who it's going to benefit, how it's going to affect their businesses and their self-interest. It's why Alexander Hamilton, again, going back to the framers, Alexander Hamilton keeps talking about how three branches is great because it checks self-interest. And what I love about Alexander Hamilton that's not in the play is he talks about constantly that you will never, ever get rid of corruption. It's there. It's like the air we breathe. So all you can do is soften it and contain it. And self-interest, if you get self-interest to work against each other in three different branches of government, then self-interest can never dominate your personal life. And so what's happening is the self-interest of these powerful men are like, hey, this guy has consolidated all this power. We're going to bring back the Republic and we're going to get rid of them. And no one's got a real clear idea of what they're doing. Cicero is still like, this is not good for the Republic. And Brutus, who is very close to Caesar, will feel the same way. And he'll be convinced by very powerful people he committed an assault against the Republic. And they have their own self-interest, what they want. and they all partake in his assassination. He's murdered very quickly, I believe, after becoming dictator. He's not dictator very long. And then, oh wow, the drama that ensues after that is just it's almost chaos. But what emerges out of it is his adopted son Augustus will become the Roman emperor and the first emperor of Rome and declared emperor of Rome, and bring in what's called Pax Romana, which was this period of trade, tons of war. But a period of trade. People are like, oh, period of peace. There's no war. There's no like gigantic, all powerful war, but it's a period of like this prosperity for Romans. And eventually, yeah, that's then after that, it gets really interesting.
It's been boring so far. Finally,
That's where you start to see it fade and become a shell. And then certain points it gets strong again. And Constantine's there, and then it just takes a nosedive. And I make that sound so easy, but it's 476 years and literally almost 500 years after the death of Julius Caesar. About 500 years after the death of Julius Caesar, Rome's gone.
so there's one guy we haven't talked about that we had as one of the key figures in the historical event, Mark Antony. Right?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the guy that slings manure.
Sorry. Yes, him as well. Good point, Steve.
Yeah, he's a big figure, obviously, and he's a big part of the military and Caesar's military. But he really gets into prominence after the death of Caesar, because what'll happen is he is going to be a big part of the divide. They're going to come after him, the Senate, and he escapes into Gaul, where he's going to be governor for a while. And then obviously Augustus is rising to power, but he's been hidden because they come after Augustus. He's going to be put into, not an exile, but he's going to be sent far from the politics of Rome and the powerful men who can get him. And he's going to grow into prominence. And that concerns them, because that is the all of a sudden this issue of a bloodline with Caesar. He's like this living legend. And so Augustus is a connection to that. And so that becomes a big fear for those senators. And of course, Antony is gaining power, and then Brutus is gaining power too. And then Brutus gains more power, and they start to take Pompey's old areas in the Middle East. And they begin to gain a lot of power and build a lot of armies. And there's going to be who's going to take Rome. And then what happens is Augustus unifies with Antony, and they battle Brutus, and they're going to fight. They have a massive battle called the Battle of Philippi, which is like, I believe it's the biggest Roman battle, a massive civil war. And Augustus wins. And then Antony and Augustus will split, and there'll be two rulers of Rome. And it'll be Antony will take the eastern part, and Augustus will take the western part. And Augustus, of course, is like, well, I'm closer to the capital. That's important. But we start to figure out is Antony is got the richer part of the Roman Empire. It's exotic. A lot of trade goes through, a lot of demand for the products that come out of there. He has routes into Persia, which has been enemies of the Romans, but there's trade there, Arabia. And he settles in Egypt, and then eventually he'll marry Cleopatra, and he will start to lose control of that area. And Augustus will see that as there's a problem, and that he could solidify power and create massive trade route and prosperity if Antony's out of the way. And so they finally go into a civil war, and Augustus will rise to power. And this all goes back to the crossing of the Rubicon.
So the big question, what did we get right?
You got the crossing of the Rubicon right. That part was there. You got the characters right. Pompey was definitely an issue. The parts that I'm not sure that you got right, that I think you got wrong, were the Happy Meals with the dagger, which I think that would be awesome. And it might become a project in my classroom. I really love the Happy Meals. And the other one was that I love was the cannoli. The cannoli comes like 900 years later, and it's under like Arable in Sicily when that shows up. which is, like I say, Rome 2.5 with the Muslim conquests. They're connected to the entire history of the Roman Empire. And other than that, I completely enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun. And Anthony, and you got Anthony in there, and Anthony was definitely taking orders at that point before he was giving them.
And the pronunciation of Pompey. If we're going to defer to the history expert here, Trent got it right at the beginning. And because I've always heard it as Pompey.
It is Pompey.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
you give it to me and then you pull it right back.
Out of the jaws of defeat. Pompey, it is Pompey. And I think, I don't know what it is in me. Maybe it's like it just sounds cooler, and I just want to say Pompey but it is Pompey. It is Pompey.
One final question. Who was closer to getting it right? Us or Journey with the song Rubicon from their 1983 album Frontiers?
I'm thinking you guys. No question. I can't put musicians in there. I'm sorry. I have this bias. They already get enough attention. Yeah, no. You guys got it. Win with the Happy Meal and the cannoli.
Well, thanks so much, Matt. That was fascinating and really impressed.
You're welcome.
Just the scope of everything is amazing that you're able to keep that all up in your brain.
It's hard. Yeah. I have so much more. I haven't gone to my notes yet on it. From I have not taught that in so long, and just talking to you guys makes me miss it so much. And no classes that I ever had. And we're talking kids, talking middle school kids. They were lining up at the door like a rock concert in those couple of years. And I had them, and there's drawings that go with it. And you simplify it and create cliffhangers in there and get them occupied, and you go and you get that 20 minutes and you just go. And they were glued. That's, I just wanted, because, why are all these older folks so interested in Rome? Why does it keep coming up? Why do people keep talking about it? Why do they just throw it in context, or directors use it in movies and film and TV? And there we go.
Someone should do like a big epic series on Rome.
Yeah, I did. Well, and this time, get maybe start from the very beginning and then just build it. Hey, let's get 10 seasons before we even get to Julius Caesar, right? And let's just do it.
This was great, Matt. Thanks a lot.
Really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Anytime I could do it, I'm more than happy to. So, yeah.
And that was History Improv'd. So I just realized that Matt Roberto had to be a subconscious inspiration for my Roman Roberto, that great seeker of cannoli ingredients.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't even put that together until I was doing the edit on this thing. I had a classic improviser moment later, that whole thing when after all the improv is done and you were like, oh, I should have said that,
Yeah.
I totally missed Lee's alliteration at the very beginning. He was saying riff-raff, running roughshod in Rome. And it was like, obviously he's doing that. And, where was I when I could have said, really? Ridiculous, or something like that. Because I'm a huge fan of alliteration, and I've that would have been really fun. But
hindsight's 50-50, remember? I said that Pompey, he came, Pompey says when he's introduced or whatever, he's like, I am here to smite all the Roman Empire.
Oh yeah, and that's right, and that's why my character responded with, really?
Exactly. Yeah, I knew. When I listened to it after, I'm like, oh, Steve knew.
Yeah.
You might want to rephrase that. The traitorous Roman legionnaires in front of us, that kind of thing.
Right away, right out of the gate. He's a traitor.
Yeah.
Welcome. Let me introduce Pompey the Great. Turncoat.
That's right. Also, triumvirates are really just classy threesomes.
Oh.
And like most threesomes, they tend to start out full of excitement and new ideas, only to end in tears or civil war.
Yeah. Well, this is Rome, so most people need to die in a horrible, bloody end, right?
Hmm. Yeah, it seems that's just like ancient history in general.
Right. True. True.
A lot of premature death by violent means.
A lot of poisonings at surprise banquets, things like that.
And also the triumvirate, we had Mark Antony and Caesar and Pompey, but the actual triumvirate was Caesar, Pompey, and Marcus Crassus, no?
Yeah.
Three guys that have their private armies and they're all gunning for the top job down the road, or in Caesar's case, really soon.
Right.
But then I did some reading later, and Mark Antony, he was part of the second triumvirate. So he was part of a triumvirate. It was just the second one with Augustus and can't remember who. So I'm stronger on my food history than my Roman generals and triumvirate history. And that reminds me, we were a bit anachronistic with our food choices in this episode. Matt caught us on the cannoli being out of date by almost a millennium.
You would think that the Romans, of all people, would have developed the cannoli way back in the first century.
I think we just give the Romans credit for everything Italy's got, pretty much pre Mussolini. I don't know if that's yeah. Also, Ireland didn't get the potatoes. The side of Irish potatoes didn't exist until more than 1,600 years later.
Wow, you mean we have anachronism in our improv? Unheard of, unprecedented.
Unprecedented, exactly. I was sure that of all the things with history improv, our food choices for every setting would be on point. One of my takeaways from our interview with Matt is that Caesar was one complicated guy.
Oh, yeah.
He went from self-made man and inspiring underdog to tyrant getting shivved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, we had an awesome conversation with Matt but for the sake of time, you didn't hear everything because it's just like he said at the beginning, it's such a long, huge story and scope that you just can't cover everything, without doing like a series.
Like the history of Rome.
Like the history of Rome. I have a feeling we're going to revisit some more historical events that are somehow connected to this one. I'm just guessing.
Yes.
I'm just guessing.
And I must add, Matt gave us another reason to love him besides being really interesting history expert. He chose us over rock stars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I felt kind of honored, especially since Journey is from San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you sound like you're pulling for Journey here. Where's your true allegiances here, Steve?
Well, I don't know. I guess I always associate Journey with Caddyshack, and I'm a big Caddyshack fan. So,
So it's Journey. You're picking Journey over me and you. Nice. I'm gonna hang out with Matt. I'm gonna go hang out with Matt. You go hang out with your buddies in Journey.
Yeah, before I go, I should probably say something about how you can reach us and all that kind of thing.
Sure thing, yeah.
What's your favorite franchise? Let us know at hello@historyimproved.com. Of course, that's spelled historyimproved.com. And to find out more about us, check out our website, historyimproved.com. That's spelled historyimproved.com. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it bears repeating.
Indeed it does. Well done. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, X, or formerly Twitter, and don't forget to follow, rate, and subscribe to History Improv'd on your favorite streaming platform. And if you like this episode, please share it with someone who you think might enjoy it. If you don't like what you're hearing, please listen again, and you'll like it this time, I'm sure. Thanks again to our guests, Lee Uniacke and Matt Roberto, and of course to you, our dear listener. For Steve Fait, I'm Trent Edwards. And don't forget, when you're on the road, stop at historical markers. Now you.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. So I'm Steve Fait, along with Twent?
Hello. Along with Puente.
He's my good friend. We do a podcast together.
You can find us on YouTube or Instagram. Well, not Instagram. What are we on now?